Hi Taurus, welcome to your November 2020 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here, and I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. So we're going to see what comes up. Well, so far so interesting. One of the reasons I chose this particular deck is because of the macabre, some of the cards, just to give it that Halloween-y feeling to it. And but some of the drawings, the Wild Unknown Tarot deck, are very beautiful in a very straightforward way, you know, with a lot of clean lines, but just beautiful. Pen and ink. So one thing that I wanted to make mention of is that in the month of November, we're coming off the heels of a really spectacular, and I'm saying this in advance because I'm anticipating it. A lot of you will be listening to this actually, or watching this before Halloween, and there's going to be a full moon in your sign, but it's not just a full moon, it's a blue moon, Taurus. And so whatever transpires, if anything, around that time, there can be a sense of completion with something in your life. And so we have as the, some of these cards, see, I got the death card, so that's why I'm saying is that it's coming on the heels of that in the month of November. And the Mercury retrograde that began in October goes direct. Mercury goes direct on November 3rd. Now, Mercury goes direct in Libra, but it went retrograde in Scorpio, which is your opposite sign. So that could be 7th house or relationship issues that come under scrutiny and get resolved at some point. So the heart of the matter is the Daughter of Cups, which is the Page of Cups, but it's in the reversed position. So I'll just hold it up right so you can see what it looks like. It's hard to see things. Isn't that pretty with the shadow being the rainbow? And the Page of Cups is a card. When you have pages, you're talking about messages. So here we have something that may go awry, may have gone awry, that involves some kind of communication that you have about your feelings to somebody. So whether it gets misconstrued or it doesn't reach that person, you leave a voicemail and they never get it, and they jump to conclusions and assume you're not interested. Something can kind of feel out of place. But I think the Page of Cups in reverse can be hearing back from an old love, because we do have the Two of Cups, which is a card of reunion. And it may be that you keep missing each other's messages. Something just keeps getting lost in translation or something like that, and it can't get off the ground. Something can't get off the ground because pages can be the infancy of an experience, or some kind of an action that you're taking, the beginning stages of it, and it's not able to take root for some reason. In the past position, we have the Five of Cups, and this is a card of grief, mourning the loss of something. I do have the Death card as well. So that can really point to maybe some kind of loss in your life. I'm thinking that it's going to be emotional because we have several of these cards. So to me, that's more indication that we have several cups here. So to me, it's more relationship oriented than necessarily work. But of course, um, if somebody loses their job, for instance, and that's upsetting to them, and then they're trying to get a new job and it's not working out either, something's getting messed up, that could certainly lead to challenging emotions as well. So obviously it could be in any area, but I'm thinking that it's more likely a relationship. Oh, by the way, the death card is connected to Scorpio. So if this is literally a Scorpio, and then I want to say the higher message is the death card. So really with the Five of Cups, this kind of loss could have happened a long time ago and you've never really gotten over it. Now, isn't this gruesome? This is one of the cards that I'm always like, I mean, it's just so like, ugh, but it's hilarious at the same time. You know, this plucked chicken, it looks like. But that can definitely play tricks with your mind and make it hard for you to even feel comfortable with a new relationship, even if it's a good one. Also, the thing too about the Page of Cups that has to be mentioned, I'm not so sure about the reversed position with this particular interpretation, but it could be a situation where because I know that in the upright position that the Page of Cups can sometimes indicate that a person has been naive, they've been gullible about a situation that they find themselves in. And so in this particular context, I don't know if the reverse card is actually one of those cards where it's better in the reverse position. It's showing that you're not allowing yourself to be that fool anymore and that you're accepting the end of something, because a death card can be that something has irrevocably ended. And if you're the kind of person who, you know, as a Taurus, sometimes Taurus refuses to accept things. It's, you know, you're a fixed sign and you get accused of stubbornness. I think it's fair to characterize the typical Taurus person as stubborn, but it's also steadfast. So you're not the kind of person who just like drops somebody at the drop of a hat, if you will, simply because they do something that you don't like, even though you're very possessive, you're jealous. I wouldn't be surprised if the average Taurus person gave somebody who cheated on them a second chance, just simply because they don't want to just discard people like that. And somebody could make the case, boy, you sure are foolish for doing something like that. And maybe they would have a bit of a point. Who knows? But the bottom line is that that's how you roll, that you're much more interested in, how would I put it, being loyal, being stable, being consistent, than in, you know, gaining revenge over somebody that's done something. Not to say that you like it, but you might tolerate it as long as that person doesn't do it again. But in this particular case, with this spiritual messages, if it is something along those lines, it's saying, no, this really is over, and you have to stop allowing yourself to hope for something that simply is done with. Now, this could be that you are realizing this. If the Page of Cups in reverse means that you're coming out of that denial or gullibility, if you're maybe it's happened too many times for you to deny anymore. But anyway, what crosses you is the Daughter of Pentacles, another page. And there you go. You see this. So I'm reading this as a reversed card. And so with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, there might be a feeling of not being able to start a new endeavor, whether this is related to Pentacles, which is typically the, kind of practical matters, a new job, or some kind of money, like a money-making endeavor, something like that, whether it involves something like that or whether or not there's a possibility of a new relationship with somebody who is an earth sign or who has a stabilizing influence, who is not somebody that you can't count on, because perhaps you were with somebody who was not really relationship material, and that's why this happened in the first place. And while you may be disappointed or even grieving the loss of this dream of yours with that other person, it may not have been something that really had a chance. It may have been something that you should have been honest with yourself about. If this is related to work, there could have been some artistic project or something creative or in the spiritual vein that you had hoped to do and somehow it is not happening, or you have to have a day job in order to make it work, and it seems like you're juggling these things, and perhaps even your day job isn't something that you feel is kind of aligned, or that you have this ability to support yourself at a time when you're trying to do artistic work as well. So that's one of those things where, because we have two cards here that are daughters or pages, and they're both in challenging positions. So it's like trying to get something off the ground. Now, the interesting thing is that you are really, your heart is more in the creative or the spiritual one. And yet the kind of the earthy or the practical new endeavor is something that is being held up somehow as well. So it's like looking, maybe you were counting on that new job to allow you to do this new artistic project, and you can't seem to get anything aligned in that way, and some kind of disappointment is maybe energetically blocking it. Maybe you're still upset about a job that you lost in the past, because with the Daughter of Pentacles, this may be a new job. So what happened to the old one? So we have several, let's see, I got this, I didn't realize this was a reversed card, but this is the Nine of Pentacles. It's in the reversed position. So it is speaking about financial independence, and you're not there yet. So this, I already kind of knew that with that other card, those other cards. So I figured that you still have a ways to go so that you can secure your practical finances, which means covering your expenses, because there's something else that you want to do and you're not sure that you're going to be able to make money from that, at least not at the beginning. And so if this is a romantic situation, it's, to me, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse might even be like a Virgo, because Virgo is associated with the Hermit in the Major Arcana, and that is number 9. I don't know why Virgo is associated with. I know, September is the 9th month, and that's when it's Virgo season in September. So I'm not quite sure. I know the number 9 does connect with the spiritual side of life. So it could be something along those lines. But here we have 2 cards that are connected to Pentacles, and they're both reversed. And it almost makes me think, if there are 2 people involved, that one of them is an earth sign and one is a water sign, and that the water sign person has your heart. But maybe, I didn't think about this. Hello, maybe because you're a Taurus, you're thinking in terms of financial prospects and what the other person has to offer. But I have a feeling that the person that you are currently with may be an earth sign or have that connection to financial abundance, but you don't have that. So you're kind of like with this person, but you don't have your own wealth or enough to sustain yourself, and that's the motivation for staying with that person. Obviously, there are some wealthy Taurians, but I'm talking about the ones for whom this reading may be most appropriate. That is not like uncommon for people to stay in relationships because of financial reasons. And even if you could support yourself, you may be kind of spoiled. You may feel like when you're with this person, you have a certain standard of living that would be knocked down a peg or two, and you don't want to do that. So really the bottom line is how much, what is love worth to you? Because the other person has more of an emotional connection component, and actually the outcome is this 2 of Cups, and this is definitely a card of reunion and also of commitment, making commitment to somebody. But it's really, I think, making a commitment to yourself, because when we look at somebody else's financial status as being a prime motivator in a relationship, that's really kind of how do you say it? Commoditize, making somebody else a commodity. And I wish I could think of how to say that word. And it's treating them like an object. It's objectifying them. And certainly it works both ways. The trophy wife is being used as well. They always talk about the person being used for their wallet, but that person is getting something in return. But neither one of them are getting true love, are they? And maybe that sounds kind of corny, because it seems that, we have more interest in these material things sometimes. But I believe in the power of love. I really think that is where it's at. And spiritually, certainly love is all there is. At least that's how I feel about it. Money is temporary, but the idea of our emotional connections, that can transcend lifetimes, can't it? So in this period of time when we have Mercury going direct, that may make your decision easier if you have come into contact with somebody from your past, for instance. That may be very exciting, and it might be kind of confusing because it might really highlight problems that you're having in a current relationship. And so, in any case, I hope that this resonated. It's kind of a weird reading in certain respects, but if it resonated, it's all good. And maybe it's just for a select few. If you'd like a personal reading, I'm mainly an astrologer, and I do natal chart interpretations and looking at transits that are coming that are important based on your cosmic blueprint, otherwise known as a natal chart. The link is below to get more information on those. Thank you. Take care. Bye.